Action has a very specific project, whereas the pre-IB is specific courses that are preparing students.
Ms. O'Neill, I think you had your light on next.
Yeah, I had turned it off so we had too many. Piggybacking on Mr. Barclay's question, there was a statement that someone put out that only Richard Montgomery offered the Theory of Knowledge course, and that's not true. I mean, if you're in a diploma program,
you have to take that.
You have to take it. So that's all, because I think, you know, I mean, there are a couple of things, and I'll limit it sort of to general, you know, as we heard people from Eastern Middle School about, you know, the 8-period day versus the, you know, non-8-period day, was almost a belief or perception that they were in a feeder program for Richard Montgomery's IB program, and that's not true. And it would be interesting to see, you know, what the applications, where they're coming from to Richard Montgomery, especially since that we have, you know, more localized IB programs. So, I mean, that's for future reference. I'd be interested, I mean, we could just take this year, the applications and the acceptance, to see where they're coming from. Because, you know, we do need to build those neighborhood programs, especially as you looked at Rockville High School, and I did the site visit for Rockville High School with the IB people. There's a need for a critical mass of kids, because you got to have the course offerings to support the IB program, but also, you know, we still are offering AP courses in those schools. So how do we build capacity within the schools? How do we support course offerings for both AP and IB? And thank you for all the training that's going into the teachers. As a parent, a kid who just got 18 hours of AP credit at Vanderbilt, you know, while she did a lot of hard work, it really was the dedication of the teachers who provided her the knowledge. And, you know, and I think Dr. Weiss talked about the training. We still need to support our teachers with the training so that they can really prepare our students. So thank you. And Steve Bedford, you're sitting there. I remember before we went to HAPIT, the efforts of principals like Steve Bedford and Jeanette Dixon to recruit teachers and removing the gatekeeping from 99. That honors and AP work group report was significant.
Do you want to speak a little bit to the AP-IB balance that Ms. O'Neill addressed?
Well, I was just going to say briefly, to finish answering the question earlier about the courses, we really have to think about beginning with the end in mind, and the students across the world are taking essentially the same assessment. So teachers in every school have to teach to the same level to ensure success on the assessment. So I think we need to think about that. And we heard Chris allude to his experience over time and how each year with the additional training and just teaching, he got better and better, and I think we're going to see that over time in the schools that are fledgling in terms of their implementation. So students should be getting the same program in every high school, whether it's a newer program or not.
Okay, thank you. You really have a collaborative process going on with the board and the administration and the teachers and the parents and everybody on evaluating the quality of these programs, and depending on where you're at, what you're looking at. But we looked at the overall increase in AP is in the last decade is about 260%. And there your cutoff score is 3 to be college ready. And you had a 208% increase in 3s. So it's a pretty good balance. If you go too fast, that falls below a 3. If you go too slow, you keep your 3s up, but you don't give kids access, broad-based access. We've tried to balance it out, and we've only missed about 1/10 of a point change on a district-wide basis. The way we check to see whether we're going too fast or too slow with the IB program is how do we compare when they go to sit for the exam with everybody else across the world. That's why that 80% and 90% that they were talking about. We actually have a higher rate of success on the exam compared to worldwide. It really strikes, Phil, at the heart of your question. What we're moving from is magnets that were just for some kids, mostly white and Asian, by the way, if you looked at their racial composition in '99, to whole school academic reform driven with kind of several things in mind. An IB component if you wanted to really get into the writing and, you know, that kind of level, or you're going to some international school. An AP that will work anywhere in our country. And both of them, you can't, it helps us check our quality because we've got national statistics and international statistics. And then under that, our honors program, which drives it up. And what we're trying to do is to close down courses that had low rigor and where we were putting kids that were leading to nowhere. And what we're trying to do is get away from anything that you don't have the rigor that you automatically get out of here and go into remediation. We have, I think, done a success story in that particular thing. And our problem is training, and again, it's our big problem is time and training.